Vernon Coaker, maybe you could join us now, Vernon, if
you'd
like to step in. If I could just have you over here for a second. Thanks, Jeff. Vernon, you obviously are on the side of remaining within the EU. You're very passionate about it. Why?
Well, I think first of all, there are all the various reasons that people know about the consequences for jobs, the number of businesses that are linked to trade with the European Union, and Northern Ireland more dependent on exports to the rest of the EU, particularly to Ireland. So for all those reasons, I'm passionate about it. But I'm also passionate because I have a positive view of Europe. I have a positive view about pooling sovereignty. Some people say we lose sovereignty, but I think by working with other countries together, we can overcome common problems, generate growth for each other, tackle things like climate change, and working together to eradicate poverty and be an influence across the world. And I think for the young people, I think that's a particularly positive view of what the future means. So I'm positive about it, not only for now, but for the future of the next generation as well.
And still positive, even though the Observer poll at the weekend puts the Leave camp a bit ahead. Are you worried that you're falling behind?
Well, of course, the polls say what they say, but it's interesting when you look at that. What was interesting about it was the numbers of don't knows who were excluded from the headline figure. And I think debates like we're having tonight, debates like that take place over the next few weeks are going to be crucial as people look at the facts, look at the competing views of the future for our country, and then come to a view about how they will vote in it. And I think, as I say, I think in the end, hopefully the Remain campaign will win. I think it's really important. But certainly there's a lot to be argued for, a lot to be debated and a lot to be discussed, and tonight will be a good part of that.
Not so much here in Northern Ireland, but certainly across the water, as you well know, a huge focus of the debate for people is immigration. And a lot of people aren't talking about the economics and what business thinks is best. They're talking about what they think is best in terms of immigration, in terms of Britain's borders. How do you change the focus to focus on the economic side, and how do you address those concerns about immigration?
Well, I think first of all it's necessary for us to be clear that there's a difference between immigration, asylum and migration, and those are different things in terms of immigration, I think, and migration, and I think many of those things have been a benefit to the whole of the UK. You saw the statistics that were produced today about the numbers of people coming into the country who were supporting work in the NHS. So clearly we need to point out the positive benefits of immigration, the positive benefits of migration. And I have to say, I think it's also important for those of us who support the EU to say we're proud of the fact that the EU is working to help those people who are genuinely fleeing persecution and offering an asylum to them. That's in the best interest of our country. But alongside that, where there are issues, where there are problems, we need to deal with those, and we will do. But let's be clear, overall it's been a positive impact for our country. But as I say, where there are problems, we need to deal with those.
Now, you're the Shadow Northern Ireland Secretary. You meet a lot of Northern Ireland businesses and community groups and so on whenever you're here frequently. Paint me a picture of what Northern Ireland would be like if Britain was to leave the EU. What do you think would be the impact here?
Well, I'll get criticised for actually just saying this is negative, but I think what Northern Ireland businesses, with businesses across the UK, are concerned about what does it actually mean for Northern Ireland businesses if they use. There are criticisms now about the way the EU operates, and there's a need for reform, but there's certainty about the trading arrangements. They've access to a market of 500 million people without tariffs. What will it mean for the border between the Republic and Northern Ireland? 37% of the exports from Northern Ireland go into the Republic. What does that mean? Now, I'm not saying it will be returned to the bad old days, the watchtowers, the army patrolling, but the border between North and South will become a border between the UK and the rest of the EU. So at the very least, there will be customs implications for that. What does it mean for the freedom of movement of people? 30,000 people cross the border one way or the other every single day. What will it mean for all of that? And all the people who say, we leave, they all say, oh, don't worry about it, it'll get sorted out, it'll be all right on the night. That's not good enough. And what people in business want is certainty. And certainty will come from remaining within the EU, not taking the risks and a leap into the dark of what happens when we leave.
Okay, we'll be hearing that message very strongly from you tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vernon. Thank you.